Alright, in this video we're going to show you how to hook up your robot at home if you haven't figured out how to do that yet. Here I am at the Robotics is Fun webpage, and if we go to the serial terminal like we did in class, you'll find the serial terminal, and you can try this out, but I found that in my Windows anyway, this plugin for Chrome, it just doesn't work anymore for some reason, so there must have been some update along the way somewhere that prevents it from working properly in Windows. So I've added to this page now a download of something called Termite. Termite is a serial terminal that you can use right on your computer. It doesn't have to be online, and this is going to work on your Windows machine only. So go ahead and download that Termite. It's a zip file, and you'll need to unzip that file to a convenient location on your computer. Okay, so I've already done that, and I'm going to bring up Termite. So there is Termite running. It's a serial terminal just like the one we used with the online thing. It looks a little bit different. And to hook up to your robot, up on the top here, it names the COM port. That's what they call it on Windows. You saw something called USB or whatever when we were using Linux in class, but they call them COM ports in Windows. And we're going to go to Settings. And you're going to choose the port that is your robot. And usually the highest COM number is going to be your robot. The only other setting here you'll have to worry about is making sure that that's at 9600. It probably is already. So choose the highest COM number and the 9600 and just say OK. Now go to your robot and push the reset button, and you'll see the same things that we're used to come up. Press send within 2 seconds to go to setup. Now, the send button on Termite is this little arrow down here. Now, this is probably what you're going to get when you're at home if you haven't hooked it up yet. Failed to connect, try again. So there's send 1 to set up as a station and a static IP. That means we give it our own IP address. Send 2 where it will give a dynamic IP. That IP address is going to be assigned by your router, and that will work just fine too. Or you can set up your robot, that's the ESP8266, as an access point, and I'll go over that access point thing in a little bit. But we're going to choose 1. We're going to send 1, just a 1. And it will scan the networks. We're going to do the first choice there. And in my case, my router here at my shop is called the router. So I'm going to copy that, and I'll paste it into place down in the send bar here. And then it asks us to send the password for your wireless router. In my case, it's that. And it tries to connect. Hopefully it will do so here. And it did. And you can see that the router, my router, assigned it an IP address here already. It's 192.168.1.103. But let's say I had written my program to be a web address of 211 or something like that. So I can now assign my own IP address, and you're going to want to assign the first 3 numbers just as they are in this gateway address. All right, so these up here might be different right now. They might be the ones you used at school. So you're going to take these first 3 numbers of the IP address from the gateway address and paste that in, and then the third number can be whatever you want, and we'll make it 211. And there we are. Now my IP address is 192.168.1.211. And now I can go over to Snap and sign into Snap. So I'm going to log in with the password that I created in class. And I'll go ahead and I'll open, I'm going to open the robot template. Yours is probably called something else, but that's where we started, if you remember, was with the robot template. But now I can set this URL of my robot. The other two, the fields, you don't have to worry about those. You can leave those as is, but I'll set the URL of my robot as 192.168.1.2.11. And then I'll push that, and you can see over here in the variables that my URL is now 192.168.2.11. Now your robot should work. We should be able to push this. This will return hello from your robot if communicating correctly. And there, you can see under HTTP, it says hello from your robot. So that's good. That means I'm communicating correctly. And you should be all set to go with all the other robot things on this. Now, I'm going to go back to Termite here, and we're going to try the AP system. So I'm going to push reset on my robot again and push send. That's, again, this arrow key within 2 seconds to go to setup, and now it went to setup. But now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to push 3 to set up as an access point. And what that is, it sets your robot up just like it was a router. And you're going to give it a name like you would give a name of a router, and it's going to kind of emit its own Wi-Fi signal. Okay, so it says here, this sets up your ESP as an access point. Send the SSID name you would like the ESP to have. Okay, so that's just what I'm going to name my robot's wireless. And I'm going to call it my robot, okay? And I'm going to send that. Send password for the ESP, push send for no password. I'm going to set mine up without any password. You can put a password in if you want. Okay, and then it says you must connect your computer to the wireless access point you just created. And your IP is 192.168.4.1. You are all set, okay? My computer that I'm recording this on does not have Wi-Fi on it, so I can't show you that. But if you're doing this on a laptop, let's say, you can go to your Wi-Fi connection, which is usually down in the lower right-hand corner, and you will see shown up there a Wi-Fi connection called My Robot. So what you'll do is hook up to My Robot and enter the password or no password, depending on how you set it up. And then your IP address over in Snap is going to be what it said over there. It was, what was it, 192.168 5 point. Oh, it's 4.1, I'm sorry. And then you'll set your URL to that. Okay? So that's going to work. However, be aware that when you're hooked up to the Wi-Fi robot, you're not hooked up to the regular Wi-Fi, which gives you all the internet. So in that case, unless you have Snap already running from the internet, Snap's not going to work. So the alternative there is if you click on this Snap logo, you can say download source. That's going to download a zip file, and you'll extract that zip file, say to your desktop, and you'll go into that folder that creates and start the file called index.html. And you will get a copy of Snap that will run offline, and in that case, you can use your robot as an access point. So then you won't need Wi-Fi or a router or internet at all. So you can just communicate between your laptop or even your phone and your robot, and setting it up as an access point if you don't have internet access at home. So hopefully this helps. The big change here is this Termite. It works really well in Windows. I suspect that if you're running Linux like we were at school, you won't have any trouble with that online serial monitor, and this should probably work in Mac computers as well. I have not tried that yet, but if you're doing Windows, go with the Termite and it should work just fine. Any questions at all, go ahead and send me an email. I don't mind getting emails from anybody, and you'll go to the front page at Robotics is Fun and scroll down, and you'll see at the bottom there is my email address. So go ahead and send me an email, or even give give me a call during the day. I'm usually here. Good luck with your robot.